Hello there. Today I will continue my idea to play with a computer, and last time I played against level 3 and well, it was too easy, so I will now play level 4 and we'll see how it goes. And the main idea of this series is to practice my thought process, especially doing a blunder check, and try to see what is the intention and the purpose of the opponent's last move. Okay, so let's select random side. Of course, I'm inspired by Michael Della Maza thought process, and also I follow then Heisman, so it's in fact very similar. Okay, my opponent played knight c3. What do I make of this move? It's unusual opening, so he probably wants to play e4. So if I can put my pawn on e5, I will just do it. So this is the logic in the opening. I can always put it on d5 because it's protected, but now e5 is free, so I'll just put my my pawn on e5. Okay, my opponent plays d3. So what are the consequences? What are the threats of this move? Okay, he obviously wants to open his bishop. I could play d5 now and just grab the center immediately. If he plays e4, I can just push the pawn. So I think I can just grab the center. So I'm just playing this on opening principles. I don't know this opening. In fact, I don't know any opening that well. Okay, so he now what is the threat? Now let's first see the threat. So the threat is e5. How can I react to this threat? There are several ways. One is that I can just push the pawn, grab some space, but then I give him control over e5 square. So if I put the pawn here, then e5 can be very useful for him later. But on the other hand, he'll have troubles developing. Okay, let me play e4. Don't like to spend too much time. Although I have infinite time here, obviously, but still I want to train myself not to spend much time. Okay, so he plays a3, so the purpose is probably just to prevent this spin. Here, notice that I cannot now develop my bishop to d6 since this pawn would be unprotected. So I think I will just continue normal development, just develop my kingside knight. Okay, and now I'm also guarding this d5 square. Okay, so he plays e3. Now he's opening this bishop, but I don't see any danger. I can always just block this check and anywhere I like. So this is the idea. So what are checks, captures, and attacking moves, or threats, as the Heisman would say? So he has this check. I have to see this at least, to acknowledge this fact that he has the check. He has this capture, in principle, but okay, this is defended twice. Does he have any threats? So threats means he's threatening queen or some undefended piece. So I don't think so. So I can just continue my normal development. I can put my bishop either on e7 or d6. d6 would be more active square, but then this pawn is not so protected. But anyway, I don't see how can he attack this pawn. So he attacks it once. What if I put my bishop here? But what does this bishop do here? I mean, all these squares are... Maybe this bishop is better off on e7 anyway. So I'll just play e7. It cannot be a bad move. I mean, I just... Maybe it's not the best move, but I'm not looking for the best move in the position. Unless it's tactical position, then I want to force things. But in the openings, in the middle game, I just look for a move which is okay. Okay, so he played knight e2. Okay. He can go here to f4, maybe, and then attack my my pawn, which is enough protected, but okay, you never know. What else can he do? He can do something like this, but I don't see the purpose. I mean, he'll have to move this knight because it's blocking his bishop, or he can fianchetto his bishop, but this doesn't make much sense because my pawns are on the light squares. So, okay. If he comes here, I don't see any threats. So let me just cancel. I will follow this Morphy principle. So if you know Morphy, always developed one side first, then another, unless he was just attacking from the move 2. Okay, now he played his queen here. Do I see any purpose of this move? Not really. Okay, he's connecting. He's developing queen. Okay, that can be a purpose. But what about these bishops? They don't look very good. And maybe he wants to fianchetto and then castle long. I'm not sure. But I will just continue my normal development. I could play bishop here on g4, but I will wait. This bishop can go anywhere. Even here maybe. So I will just continue my development with knight. So let me just think. His knight may be better off here on d7, but now then it's blocking the bishop. And it can also go this way. Okay, let's just put the knight on the most active square. Okay, he puts his rook. So obviously his intention is to play b4. I could just play a5 and stop this question nonsense, but then he has b5 a hole. So if I put my pawn here, then this is a hole. If he now plays b4, he's going for some sort of. It looks like the minority attack, but it's not because he has the pawn on c2. So let me just. I mean, it's very close position. I would have to do something to break it. So maybe this move was better, and then I could play just c5. Yes, this was better. But anyway, I can play a5. Then I have c5, and I also have knight to c4. Attacking the queen, making my knight active, force him to move his pawn maybe. And then from here I can come back. Okay, so this is not probably not a great move, but I made a mistake here. I think I should have gone with this plan. Okay. Does he have any attacks, checks, captures? No. I mean, the pieces are not even in the contact, so. Okay, let me just play a5. And this is a typical idea, this knight maneuver to c4. Okay, now I can play c4, but let's see first what threats does he have. This capture doesn't work. He can go there, but I can just kick this knight. Let's see if his knight comes here. He can go for my bishop pair. I could immediately just play g6 and block his knight. And then later even this bishop can be fianchetto. This is the idea, which is not so strange. I saw this in Master Games, this kind of moves. So bishop back to f8 and then to g7. And I think, well, this knight will be pretty dominated. Okay, let's see what about other consequences of this move. This diagonal is now opened. So now if I play c4, he can capture. And then if I recapture, then this pawn is kind of strange here. So I have to think about this move. Maybe I should prepare it a little more, like something like this. Okay, let's just stop his knight. I'm looking, then this knight will. Every time you move a pawn, you create weak squares. So this pawn is doing something here, it protects the knight on f6. But I don't see how can he attack this knight, and besides, this knight is protected twice. So I'm not leaving unprotected pieces. So let's just play g6. I'm just now scanning for checks, captures and threats. I don't see any. Okay, let's play g6. So Stockfish level 4 has 1700 strength. Level 3 was 1300, so it should be significantly stronger. So it's about my strength, maybe. Okay, now he develops his bishop. I could now go with this c5. I mean, I'm tired of this close position. I want some action here. So I'm now seriously considering c5. Now, okay, what are his threats here? I don't see any threats. He just wants to castle. Okay, so if I play c5, let's visualize this move. What can he do? He can take, I can just take with my bishop. And then I can move this bishop and I can have semi-open file. So I think this is okay. If he doesn't take, well, okay, I can build the game as I want, maybe just advance inside pawns or something. By the way, this pointing rule, it shows that I should play on the king side. So if I would follow the pointing rule, then this is the break I'm looking for. Not this. This break actually favors him. So okay, I have to think, is this idea good? Because he has more space here on the queen side for now. But I mean, what should I do here? I should play knight e8, then push this pawn, then push this pawn, then he takes, I don't know. But I do have this pawn helping. And this knight is kind of weird. Yeah. He should have been on d7. Okay, so the plan may be to play knight e8 and then go for this push, just following this pointing rule. So pointing rule says that when pawns are fixed in the center, you should play on the side in which the pawns point. So maybe I should play on the king side. And you see that all his pieces are on the queen side. He has only this knight on the king side, and it's not doing something spectacular. Okay, let's try this plan. So knight e8, and then I will push my pawn. Okay, what does he do with this move? He prevents me from coming over to g4, but I don't care about g4. Okay, let's just go with our plan. This knight is out of play. I have to think how to bring it back. Okay, now I have a hole here. He can capture, I can capture, but now this pawn is safely guarded, so I don't even care if I end up with my pawn here. Okay, let's calculate this. Now we have concrete threat. So if I go knight c4, bishop takes c4, pawn takes c4. This pawn can be defended by b5, unless he plays something to prevent b5. Like a4 or b5, but then I can just protect it with my bishop. So I don't see a problem with this pawn here. If he doesn't take, well, I have here, I attack everything, so he'll have to take. And then he loses one more defender of his king side. So this is the only piece which is technically on the king side, if you consider this to be king side. Okay, so let's see. If I play here, let's calculate this once again. So these are now the forcing moves. So whenever your pieces are in contact, you have to calculate forcing sequences. So knight c4, he takes, I take. Now the question is, can he attack this pawn twice and stop me from defending it? I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I don't think so, but even if he can, okay, let him have this pawn, I will have a kingside attack. So it's okay. The alternative is bring it back here, but I don't like this. Okay, so let's play knight c4. Okay, I don't think this is such a bad move, and okay, I will not pre-move in the slow game. Okay, so he took, I have to take back, otherwise I'm piece down. So not much thing there. Okay, now he castles. Now I have to think about attack. So I have many pieces pointing at his king side. Now I have to be careful. I'm playing against the computer, so I have to out-calculate the computer, and this is never easy, although he's supposed to be weak. Okay, if I make this push, then this pawn is hanging. And this pawn is attacked twice, so even if I defend it with my pieces, it's not so great. Should I just, maybe I should just take the opportunity to protect this pawn. Because if he plays b5 or h4, then it is a bit loose, and I like this pawn. It would be great if I could bring my knight here, but how can I do this? I don't see. Knight would come from here or here. Not very good. Okay, let me just... okay, now this would be blunder. So maybe I should play a6 and then b5. So just to take more space. Why not? Why shouldn't I keep it? Okay. So let me just see. What does he have here? This doesn't work. This will not work after I play a6. Okay, so let me just play a6. He moves his queen to e2, attacking my pawn. Okay, if I play here, he plays here, I can just play here, protecting this. Okay, so, okay, what are the other threats? Let's see, so here, nothing. He has the square for his bishop here. I don't see what can he do about it. Well, if this was... okay, I'll just play b5. If this was a human, I think, well, I would just play nothing moves, and I will wait for him to strangle himself, because, I mean... but what can you do? I have so much space here, and he has no space, no squares for his pieces, so... okay, I'm now looking at some tactics. So he pushed this pawn, so now this pawn is protected only by this knight, so if I can attack this knight, then maybe I can grab this pawn. But he'll probably put his rook here, so I can... maybe I can attack this... I mean, I can attack this pawn in so many ways. I will not be happy with this situation, but I can solve this. I don't think it's a permanent problem. Okay, so let's first play the attacking move. So I attack the knight, he has to do something. He'll probably put his bishop on b2. And then I can just continue attacking this pawn. Then I can move my queen away. But then if I play this, then my knight cannot go to f6, and I need my knight on f6 to attack this pawn. Maybe I can play this right away. Because here I go here. But I like this diagonal. I think it's worth it. So let's play the attacking move. So the attacking move always have precedence. Okay, so he defended with his queen, so he'll probably put his rook and he will fortify this pawn. Knight in front of the advanced pawn is theoretically this should be a perfect spot for my knight. So if I put my knight here, I'm also defending this e8 pawn, and I can put my rook and then have this pawn defended, so I can play maybe f4 in the future. This is a nice move. He cannot push this. Oh, I have tactics here. So if I okay, so thinking process. This is what these videos are all about. These games are all about. So captures, checks, captures, attacking moves. So do I have any checks now? Do I have any captures? Yes, I do. I have bishop takes c3. What can he do? He has to recapture with his queen, and then I can just take this pawn. Okay, now I have to think one move further. So once this combination is done, can he now attack me? Can he check me? Can he capture something? Okay, so imagine this position. So this is here, and queen is here. So can he play this this move? Attack my queen? No, because his rook will be undefended here. Okay, so I don't have to be afraid of this. He cannot move his knight. I don't see any way how can he move his knight. This queen, well, it looks scary on this long diagonal, but it cannot do anything. It can come here, but no, it cannot, because my queen will be here. So all these squares will not be available for the queen, but he will have, well, he could put his bishop here and then attack my dark squares. So my dark squares will be very, very weak, but I get a pawn. So this is the question: should I make this concession? So he'll have the complete control over this diagonal for a pawn. But on the other hand, I do have dark squares covered. I have my queen, but this is my strongest bishop. Everything is on light squares, so I don't think so. I don't think I want to give away this bishop, even for a pawn, because, well, I'll be left with. But I like grabbing pawns. So, and this pawn is weak. Maybe I can win it even. So this is a true dilemma now. So he takes, I take. Yeah, he has this diagonal. No, I will not do this. Let me just develop and attack his pawn again, and see how he will respond. He'll probably put his rook here, but it's okay. Okay, now he's reinforcing this. So I still have this opportunity. I can still take this. So this is still on the table. I can even take with my bishop now, and then reinforce my bishop. I'm really tempted to do this. And then I can even force. I cannot force the exchange of queens. Well, I do, in fact. But then he is left with this strong bishop. But how strong is this bishop anyway? I mean, all my pawns are on the light squares. His pawns are on the dark squares. But now, if I do this, he can take the line, take the file. And he wasn't able to do this before. So I'll have to retreat, and then I can close the file, and then maybe... Well, it was better to do this before, when he didn't have this move, but okay. I wasn't sure. Okay, let me... If he takes with the bishop, I still have two attackers, so I can attack with the queen. Maybe no, I will just take with the bishop, and then I can fix my bishop here. I can take with the bishop anyway. Okay, let's take this pawn. Okay. Now I will take with my bishop. I'm surprised that he didn't take with the queen, because then he will have this battery. Even threatening mate in 1 here. Well, I didn't see this even. So after this he will threaten mate in 1. I will have to do something about this. I don't know what. Something like this maybe. Okay, let me just take this pawn now. So I didn't see mate in 1. Oh, this is not good. Okay, I will now just fix my bishop here. So he has the control over this file, but I will now just close it for good. So okay, now he wants to play this probably. Attack me on the dark squares, like I said. If he plays queen c3, I can just play queen f6, and then he has to trade, and I can take back with my knight. Let me just see some other options. And this is the plan definitely in the future. Okay. Okay, let me play this immediately, or I'm not sure. This pawn. If I play this, then I kind of force him to do this, to exchange queens and so on. Okay, so let's do this. A5. Okay, so this is now, he's threatening mate in 1 here. I can just stop this by exchanging queens. Okay, now he's threatening this, because now this pawn is attacked twice. So I can just take it. If he takes... Or I could lock the position, or I could exchange queens right away. I think I will exchange queens. And then I will have this file. Okay, so let's exchange queens. Usually if I play against human, I don't like exchanging queens, because I like tactics. Okay, now I can just take this pawn, I think. He can take him with his bishop, and then he will not have open file, but then he will have this pawn structure, which is not perfect. Okay, now he's attacking. What does he attack? So he's attacking my rook now. I have to deal with this somehow. I think well, the only reasonable way to deal with this threat is just to move the rook to f7. And now he starts to remaneuver his knight. Okay, so he has some nice squares here. Okay, if he comes here, or he can come here. I would like to push this pawn, and then maybe to play with my queenside pawns. So I will play rook c8, but now what if he plays this? Then I can just then I have no squares for my bishop. Then I can just put my rook here, defend the bishop. If he wants to exchange, we can exchange, and I can rely on my pawns being on light squares, and well, being a pawn up, having a better pawn structure, and maybe win the end game. Okay, let's put rook to c8. So of course, then if he plays this, he'll just lose the piece. Okay, let's play rook to c8. He'll probably go here. Okay. Now he wants to exchange. I'm fine with this. I'll just put my rook here. Okay, let me just see what threats does he have. He can come here. No. Here, no, no. Okay, so the only thing he can do is to take this bishop. This rook is unprotected here, so I have to keep that in mind. But this can be easily changed. Or I can even, maybe, instead of playing rook, I could play knight to f6, but then he can attack my knight. And then I have, well, then I'm in trouble. So, okay, let me play rook d7. It's taking quite some time now, it's already 30 minutes video, but okay. So what did he play? He played rook fe1. Okay, so some kind of logical move, I guess. So I can now continue with pushing my pawns here. Maybe I should improve my king at some point. And I have to be careful. If I play this, he can just take. Should I just kick him? Kick him away. If he goes to the edge of the board, I'm okay with this. I think I have to force something because I cannot advance my pawn while my bishop is attacked here. And I want to push these pawns anyway. So if I play this square is weak, but I don't really care. If this square is also weak, h5, but if he comes here, well, I have all these squares covered, so I can even put my king here and have all this covered. So I think I'll just play the attacking move g5 here. Okay. Now he takes. And now I can just take with my pawn. Getting rid of double pawns. And all my pawns are on the light squares, so okay, now he wants to break. I think I will now put my focus here on the queen side. So I could do something like this, but I just have to keep in mind that this is a backward pawn. So maybe I would like to secure it first. Maybe with my king. So I have this pawn safe, and then I can go with my rooks here, and also the knight can join maybe here, attacking this. Okay, if he takes, I'll just retake, and then he can have this file. Well, this is not very cool. He takes, I can take, he has this file. This knight is not good here. Maybe I should first move my knight, so I have this back rank covered. So if I move my knight here, he can take, I can take, he can go here, but I can just then... This knight can always jump here and control and attack his bishop. And also this knight here will defend these pawns. Okay, so I'll play this knight here. If he takes, so I now have to take with this pawn. And now he pushes the pawn. Okay, so should I just seize the open file? Maybe. I'm looking at this. How can I... Okay, let me just seize the open file. No, it's a blunder. Oh, okay. So you see what happens when you forgot to do your blunder check. Okay. Okay, so after how many? 35 minutes, I forgot to do blunder check, but okay, he didn't see this. I don't know why, but it's not good. So I have to train myself. I mean, this is not lost because he didn't take, but this is the strong signal that I have to work on my thought process even after some time in the game. Okay, now he makes some serious threats here. I will probably have to put my rook back because, well, the rook is attacked. He'll probably push it. Okay. Now I have to deal with this passed pawn. Well, maybe I can create the passed pawn of my own by just playing knight to a6, attacking his bishop. Okay. Well, now if I take his bishop, he will take. I will have a passed pawn. He does also, so I have to be careful about this. Okay, let's have the passed pawn and see how it goes. So I'm thinking now of doubling the rooks to be able to play d4 and have some connected passed pawns, maybe. Or having two passed pawns. Well, I have to admit I am a little bit tired. It's interesting. So it's hard when your opponent makes the moves immediately. Then you have to think all the time very actively, and it's actually more tiring than when your opponent takes the time. Then you have time to think, to see think about the position. Now I have to do all the thinking in the active manner, and this is not so easy. Okay, let me just double the rooks and try to push this. Okay, now he's using the open file, but I don't see what can he do. I mean, okay, he can penetrate here. You have to be aware of this. Then maybe I could just play my king to g7 and then take away all his penetration squares, but he can also penetrate here. I can just block. I shouldn't be in hurry, so I'm always in hurry when I play endgames. So d4, he takes, I can take, then he can penetrate and be annoying. So let me just, but this will not go away. Maybe he wants to come here so he can, if I push, okay. So this square it's too bad I cannot cover this square, because if he comes here, then I push, then he can take this. But then it's game over because I can just push. Okay. Here takes here. Then I have to, okay, then he has double attack. I should engage my king to protect this. So I'll just activate my king. Okay, he didn't go here. Okay, so let me just stop him to go to f5. Okay, strange move. Now I can get my pawns rolling. This pawn is okay. Okay. If he plays a bunch of strange moves, maybe this is just... Well, this is the engine. It's supposed to be on certain levels, so he makes just some random moves. But still, I have to think now. How do I promote these pawns? Maybe something like this. Or I can check. He can go here, I can check. He can go here, I can... And then I can play e8. Okay. I like the idea of improving my rook. So if I play check, he goes here, I play check. He goes here, stopping my pawn, then I go here and I threat to play here. And my rook is protected here by the pawn. Okay, so let's just play this. I think this should work. Okay, he retreats his king even more. I think I should just push my passed pawn. I don't see what better option do I have here. Okay, now I can just put the rook behind my passed pawn. And now he wants to attack my pawn. If I just push it, then he will come here. But I can just cut away his king. And then I can defend my pawn with, then I can bring my king. Maybe. Because now he wants to attack this pawn twice. Obviously, thrice will be better. So he'll probably go with something like this. Maybe I could put my king immediately. And then if he goes here, I can go here. Oh no, it's not such a good idea. Then maybe here. Okay, so this I like the idea of my king b. So he obviously wants to go here. But then he'll face this check. Okay, let's do here, and now I can even assist. Okay. Now I have to be careful. Here, check, and then I can play this. But I have to move my king before. Okay. If he moves, I have to... Okay, so he gives away his rook. Actually, he doesn't. Okay, I didn't see this. So this is a nice tactics I missed. Okay. Let him have it. I push now this pawn. I have to block. And now I'm lost. Maybe not completely lost. Okay, I think I can win this pawn race now. Okay, this should be an easy win. And now he'll try some tricks. Okay. Just put the king in front of the passed pawn and he cannot do anything. Okay, checkmate. So, several blunders. I mean, one real blunder, one thing I didn't see, but it didn't turn out so bad for me. So let's turn on the analysis board. So it's strange playing against computer. I mean, it's good for practicing thought process, but well, you cannot make pressure. You cannot have psychological advantage, because I think in this game I had the more space and this was huge psychological advantage. So if my opponent would okay, it looks like I forgot to change my I forgot to change my interface, but I hope you'll be able to see the game. Okay, so like I said, it's well, it's difficult, and then he makes some strange mistakes. So this moment, for example. So he didn't take the rook. But I think any human in the long game, any human of this level would immediately grab the rook. So it's not really realistic, but okay. I get to practice some good habits. So I'll just see what blunders did I make. So obviously this was a blunder, and okay, let's still see. Two blunders. Okay, what was the second one? Knight e8 here was a blunder. Okay, oh, this was the strange plan. So what did he want me to play? Knight c takes c4. No. So what was the blunder here? Knight e8 was the blunder. Okay. What was the better move? Knight c6. So he just wanted me to get this knight back. And this is interesting. He said that this was a blunder from his side, that he should have taken this knight takes c4. Why would he want to take this? Now if I enter the engine, then the video will... Oh, because he has this discard attack. Okay. So I didn't see that this knight... Well, this knight is unprotected. Okay. So I have to work on my thought process, definitely. Because when I ask myself about what threats does my opponent have, I have to see checks, captures, and attacking moves. And by attacking moves, by threats, I always look at my queen and my undefended pieces. And I didn't see that this piece was undefended. And if I did, then I would see that there is a tactics involved with this piece. So again, I'm lucky that he missed this simple tactics. Okay. So those are two blunders. Okay, and the other stuff. Okay, I managed to win because he didn't take advantage of these blunders. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry if I messed some interfaces in my studio, so maybe I'm not sure that you will be able to see the whole board during the video. I hope you will. I'll find out once I see the recording, obviously. But okay, it was a long video, and I think it's instructive. So the instructive thing is that you should never neglect your basic to-do list when you are thinking. So watch for all checks, captures, and threats you have, and then all checks, captures, and threats your opponent has. And by threats, you have to see what checks can your opponent deliver, what captures can he made, and does he have any attacking opportunities, especially on your queen or on some of your undefended pieces. And in this position, I should have noticed, for example, that a5 is undefended, and do something about this. Either move the knight, or just maybe play something like b6 or anything. So, but I had to address this, and I didn't even see this. Okay, so these are just some minor, or maybe not so minor, but some areas of improvement, and I will continue doing this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon again. Cheers.